We believe when we made our film that in an era like this, everybody's already heard the softer side of Sears. Everybody's already heard from the Hawaiian shirt, sweater-vested pastor, God loves you, he's got a plan for your life. They've all heard that. Everyone's already heard Jeremiah 29:11 taken completely out of context. We homeschool. We homeschooled all our kids. It's like a homeschool, every homeschool graduation in America has Jeremiah 29:11 on the card. You ever read Jeremiah 29:10? You ever read Jeremiah 29:12 and 13? That entire book is a lamentation. It's a spanking. It's one of the darkest hours of Israel's history. There's one verse in the middle of it, one, where God says, for I know in the middle of punishing his children, says, for I know the plans I have for you. Plans not to harm you, but to prosper you, to give you hope in the future. So of course, we take that one verse, make that the theme of the entire book, and just throw out the other rest of the book, okay? What people need to hear again, they've heard all that, brother. What they need to hear is, hell is hot and forever. Well, I'm sleeping with my girlfriend because she's hot. Hell's even hotter and forever. They haven't heard that one in a while, all right? And you know, every now and then, you know, it's time to play the greatest hits album. It's time to go back and play the classics, you know? And they become classics because previous generations recognize their greatness. And we need to go back to playing the classics again. And we've got all this auto-tune sermonizing, and it's so watered down, and it appeals to people, but it doesn't disciple people. And it's time for the old-time religion again.
Steve Deace joining us today here on the Meeting House on Faith Radio. It is the National Religious Broadcasters Convention 2025 in Dallas. All right, there's another book coming out called Richie Meets the Rainbow. Now, I can't wait to find out more about this. Already a very intriguing title. So what's up with this?
So we've actually had this book under wraps for about a year. We've been working on it, finishing illustrating it right now. The goal of this book, I'm a big believer in the old Irish Catholic saying that what the devil hates the most is to be mocked. And I think sometimes even when we rebuke the enemy, we put him on this like pedestal like he's co-equal with God. And he's not. To use a pop culture reference, at best the enemy is Lex Luthor and God is Superman. All right? The enemy is very, very brilliant and cunning. He doesn't have any of Superman's power. Okay? Really, Superman could crush him at any point that he really wanted to. Okay? And so I think we need to almost demystify the enemy. That we are in fear of him when really he's in fear of us. And one way to demystify any terrible king is to remind people the emperor has no clothes and pull his pants down in public. And I think a lot of believers don't speak out against things like Pride Month and all this demonic propaganda because it seems like it's everywhere, it's omnipresent. I'm the only person who thinks like this. And just as Donald Trump became successful politically by trolling a lot of people who took themselves way too seriously and showing they really weren't all that, okay? It's time to do that to the enemy. And so we have a book coming out in June that intends to do that.
Is that intentional, the timing of the release?
Yes. Yes. In fact, it's going to look like a Pride Month book for kids. And when you open the first couple of pages, you might even think it is. But when you keep going into the book, you're going to see that's not what it is. And we wanted to, if Dr. Seuss were alive today, if we could put Dr. Seuss in John MacArthur's body, all right?
I got to get my mind around that.
If we could put Dr. Seuss in John MacArthur's body, what would he have to say about Pride Month? And that's essentially what Richie Meets the Rainbow is. We're going to be coming out with some previews here in the next few months. If people want to get on the list to get more information about it, just go to Richie, R-I-C-H-I-E, RichieMeetsTheRainbow.com. That's RichieMeetsTheRainbow.com.
And so you are the rhymer, you are the poet in this.
Yes. And let's just say, you know, again, go big or go home. If you're going to take a shot at the devil, don't pull up. Go for the kill, all right? And let's just say we fired up the Enola Gay, and we dropped a weapon of mass destruction. That's what this is going to be. But the reason why is it's going to be very, very funny. And it's going to show this is a joke. It's nothing to fear. There's never been anything to fear. These people are deceived, not serious. You're not up against some intergalactic empire. You're up against very broken people who need the gospel. And they need the healing of the gospel, but at the same time, you shouldn't let them run anything in your culture whatsoever.